The speaking papers of the Cambridge English exams are unfair. Hello, my name's Ben. This is To The Point English. Thank you for joining me again and welcome to any new viewers. Yes, I believe that the speaking papers of the Cambridge English exams are unfair. In fact, the speaking papers of all English exams are probably unfair, but in this channel I focus on the B2 First, C1 Advanced and C2 Proficiency Cambridge English exams. And the speaking papers of all of those exams contain a task which the candidates must do in a limited period of time. And that period of time is often very short. For example, in the C1 Advanced, there is a part where the candidates must speak about 2 photographs. They must compare the photographs and answer 2 questions in just 1 minute. And similarly, in the C2 Proficiency, the long turn is just 2 minutes. So the students need to demonstrate their fluency, their high level, all the vocabulary in just 2 minutes. So this format clearly benefits people who can formulate their thoughts and speak quickly. And now there's a big percentage of the population, around 25 to 40%, who belong to a personality type which find this difficult to do. And I myself am a member of this personality type. It's introverts. Yes, I am an introvert. Now you may be thinking, well, if you have a YouTube channel and you make videos which have thousands of views and potentially millions of views, that doesn't sound much like an introvert. But if you think about it, everything I do alone. I plan, record, edit, promote. At this moment, I'm speaking to a camera alone in a room. And I like it that way. I don't like working in a group so much. But more significantly, I can prepare what I'm going to say. So always before I make these videos, I make some notes and prepare what I'm going to say before I start recording. And that really helps with an introvert if we have time to analyze and prepare what we're going to say. So that's one of the most important characteristics of an introvert when we're talking about the speaking paper of the Cambridge English exams. But let's look at some other characteristics that introverts share. So introverts are reserved, reflective, and introspective. So their energy expands through reflection and diminishes through interaction. So basically they take pleasure in solitary activities and feel uncomfortable in groups. But most importantly, when talking about the speaking paper of the Cambridge English exam, introverts are more analytical before speaking. They are eloquent and thoughtful and make great public speakers when they have time to gather their thoughts. And that is the essence of what I'm getting at here, when they have time to gather their thoughts. And of course, when you have to do a task which has a time limit of 1 minute, you don't have time to gather your thoughts and to be analytical. In 60 seconds, if you spend 5 seconds gathering your thoughts, just 5 seconds, that's almost 10% of the time you have. So as I said, the speaking paper of the Cambridge English exams is unfair. But all is not lost. I have some good news for introverts, because I believe that introverts have a superpower, so to speak. Now, the speaking paper of the Cambridge English exams is unnatural, uncomfortable, and awkward for everybody, extroverts and introverts alike. But introverts have been preparing for this all our lives, really, right? We always feel uncomfortable in these types of situations. Every time we have an interaction with a stranger or with somebody we don't know very well, we feel uncomfortable. So really we've been practicing for this moment all our lives. So that's a huge advantage. Extroverts perhaps don't have the skills to deal with this awkward, uncomfortable, unnatural situation. In fact, there was a study done on how different personality types performed in the IELTS Cambridge exam. And that had some interesting results. And the interesting result is that it was kind of inconclusive. And that's because they found that extroverts were more fluent, while introverts were more proficient. Now, I suspect that's because of what I just said, that the introverts have to make more of an effort. So technically, they speak better in the exams. Maybe they make less mistakes, they use better vocabulary, better grammatical structures, because they know they have to maybe subconsciously make more of an effort, whereas extroverts just are more natural at speaking. So they speak very fluently, which is very important and very good, but perhaps they make more mistakes because they don't make such a big effort. So you can see that there are some advantages that introverts have, but it's still a more difficult exercise than it is for extroverts. But I'm going to give you 3 things that introverts can do to make this part of the exam easier and get the highest score possible. So number 1 is to prepare as much as you can. So that relates to practicing. The more you practice, the easier it gets, the quicker you find an answer to whatever the question is. Of course, you can't prepare for the questions because you don't know what the questions are going to be, but you can prepare your reaction time. You just get better with practice, I promise. I've noticed it in my students. The more they practice, the quicker it gets. Also, you prepare what you can in the vocabulary you can use. In certain parts of the exam, like the picture comparison, you can always start with the same expression. You can use certain vocabulary, whatever the pictures are. The more vocabulary you have, the more structure you have, the easier it will be on the day of the exam. So prepare as much as you can before the exam. Also, it's okay to take a few seconds before you speak in the exam. The examiners are humans, they know that you are human too. We're not all robots in this situation. So although your time is limited, you don't exactly lose points for silence, but you're not gaining points either. So if you need to spend 5, 6, 7 seconds before you start speaking, just formulating what you're going to say, that's okay, as long as you answer the questions, as long as you do the task. Obviously you'll have less time because you've lost those first few seconds, but you haven't wasted those first few seconds because you're formulating your ideas and what you're going to say. So take a deep breath. If the silence makes you feel uncomfortable, then use a filler expression like, that's a good question, or let me think about that one, just so it's not complete silence. But it's okay to take a few seconds to think. But remember, you need to use the rest of the time to really take advantage and show to the examiner your level, really demonstrate, because it's an opportunity, remember. And finally, number 3, always remember that it's not so important what you say, but how you say it. So if you don't have time to really formulate what you're going to say, and in the middle of the task you start to think, oh my God, I'm saying something completely ridiculous, this isn't what I really believe, this isn't true. It doesn't really matter if it's not what you believe or if it's true. Just you have to speak, you have to take advantage of the opportunity you have to demonstrate your level. So are you an introvert or an extrovert, or what personality type are you? Let me know in the comments and you can help each other out. I hope you found this video useful. Check out my other videos, I have lots. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, that helps me out a lot, and I'll see you soon for another video. Take care. So that's a real advantage. In fact,